So, like, since the literally dawn of time, like, a couple thousand years ago or whatever, humans have been trying to answer the question, what the heck is math? Where does it come from? Is it just like something the universe has, or did humans just kind of make it up for some reason? Who the heck knows? Honestly, it's a bunch of nerd stuff. The answer is kind of both and neither at the same time. Yeah, that's probably a better answer than you'll get out of most mathematicians, to be fair. So we're going to talk about why that is. So our story starts about 7,000 years ago or something. No, that's too long. Whenever the Greeks existed, because, all human knowledge comes from the Greeks. So at some point, some dude named Euclid, that's probably how you spell it, said, oh, maybe we can, he was playing around with some pretty little shapes called triangles and stuff like that. And he basically said, what if we start with, some rules and then build everything from those rules? And people were like, whoa, that's crazy, man. And everyone kind of rolled with it, and that was the approach people took to mathematics for forever. Yeah, mid 1800s, about, mathematics is pretty diverse. I realize this is kind of a leap from going from Euclid to 1800, or skipping over a lot, but who cares? That's nerd stuff anyway. Mid 1800s is kind of like the Wild West of math at this point. Everyone's all kind of doing their own thing. No one really knows what's going on anymore, and things are getting a little out of hand. So eventually, some people were like, maybe we should do that whole thing that Euclid did, right? Let's set down some ground rules, just figure everything out, so that things start making more sense than it does now, because no one knows what's going on. And there were a lot of attempts at trying to do this. Each field has their own sort of set of axioms, right? Now, analysis, you have, I don't know, abstract algebra, you got your concepts, group theory and whatnot. But some weirdos decided, maybe, just maybe, we can create some rules for all of math, so that all of math can originate from the same rules instead of each field having their own set of axioms, right? Maybe we can simplify it down even more. So they tried a bunch of things. Some of those attempts almost didn't fail. But some of them were pretty useful. We learned some things from it, so let's talk about those for a sec. First of these systems that we should talk about are the Peano axioms, right? So this was an attempt at kind of defining some basic rules of logic and essentially all numbers based on a few simple rules, right? First of these rules, right, we defined a number called 0. We define every other number as just the next number after 0 and the next number after that number, etc., etc. Define some basic kind of algebra here, right? Relationships between numbers, relationships between successors of numbers, all that boring stuff. Who cares? Because it's all kind of obvious. It's a little bit cool, to think about, okay, we have a really simple set of rules that technically we can talk all of, at least analysis in, can formulate analysis in terms of these axioms, right? But really this doesn't go far enough, right? And a lot of people thought that. So this leads into another system of axioms. Not really axioms, it's this whole little theory called set theory, right? And set theory really is more than just a system of defining math. It's its own little thing. It's kind of used everywhere. it also sucks. Okay, I lied. Set theory doesn't completely suck, but like when it first came out, everyone kind of complained to the game developers that it was full of bugs and glitches, and people constantly complained about it. You know, you can twist the rules a little bit and kind of get some weird results, right? Some people are like, oh, now there's different sizes of infinities, now you can kind of like duplicate things, which is a little weird, and I should have researched that point a little bit more. Anyway, the developers had to kind of release new patches every now and then to make set 3 work correctly. So nowadays it's mostly fine. I mean, there's some features that people still debate about. Most notably is something called the axiom of choice. Don't ask me what that is. It really doesn't matter. 90% of people agree on it, but there's like those small, real nerd people who are like, well, actually, who cares? Anyway, set theory is something, right? I probably should have mentioned what a set is, right? You can really have a set of anything. It's just a collection of objects, right? Typically we talk about sets of numbers, right? Like the set of real numbers, set of natural numbers, but again, technically you can have a set of anything, right? It's like a set of shapes, set of groups. Do whatever your heart wants, man. I don't know. So the hilarious conclusion to mathematicians' literally thousands of years of work culminates in what are called the Gödel's incompleteness theorem, right? It's named after some probably German dude, I'm pretty sure. And they basically are mathematical proofs which show that mathematics can't prove anything. Good job, guys. But seriously, it kind of showed that all the efforts of mathematicians to find that universal set of axioms which can define everything is actually impossible and can't exist, like literally cannot exist. So there's no way to define mathematics in one set of rules to where it will create like an entirely consistent system of math, right? Which is pretty funny because to think that people wasted their time trying to do, you know, all this work, formalism, just for some dude to come along in like the span of literally like a year or two and just tear it all down is objectively pretty funny. Like, it's objectively funny. So in conclusion, right, to answer the original question, where does math come from? I don't know, dude. It's probably just made up. Who cares?